director, producer, cinematographer, Ivo Marloh, and director of Vignette, Gigi Alves. Come on up and give them a big round. I have a starting question. How's your pal with the broken?
He's still recovering.
Yeah.
After 4 years. He's still. I just emailed him yesterday actually. Oh, shit, stick on. Hello? Yeah. He's okay, but he's still not great. And his job is like spinal technique and stuff, so he still can't really.
Is he mobile? Can he walk?
He's mobile, yeah, but yeah, he's still not right. Yeah. Just quickly, thank you so much for coming. It was like 10:30 in the morning. It's amazing to get this turnout. Thank you so much.
Yeah, same. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah, and an amazing film. Let's hear it again.
Any questions from the audience?
First, I think it was fabulous. Both films were fabulous.
Thank you.
With regard to All the Wild Horses, I assume you had to restage some scenes because at the point where Devin was alone by the lake, somebody had filmed.
Yeah, that was cobbled together from whatever I had of her. Because yeah, we didn't have anything on that, so that was you could call it cheating, but it was like, you know, she told the story, we wanted to illustrate it somehow, and so that's how we did it. And then we picked it up again at night. We did have footage of that. Yeah.
A horse that had never been ridden before had the characteristic horizontal stripes on the bottoms and front legs.
Yeah.
An authentic wild horse. Do you have any information whether that horse was crossbred with an authentic wild horse?
The whole breed, they're so old that you see that a lot. And they're still the kind of domestic horses in the sense that they live in herds, but yeah, they go kind of straight back to the wild horses. And yeah, probably every herd has about 10 of those. I personally rode a few of those. Yeah.
Gentlemen here.
This is for Gigi. How did you find the people that you interviewed?
Okay, so the first woman you see is actually my grandmother who's sitting behind you. Who's also seeing. Rashad is actually a friend of my mother's. She met him through work, and then I met him and was really inspired by him and felt that he was really essential to the film. And then I met Caitlin just kind of by chance. I was really interested in speaking to someone who's a part of the kind of beauty community that we have here that had to do with, you know, just beauty contestants and pageantry. And so I kind of just sent out an email to the head of the Miss New Jersey organization and got an email back, and she was really willing to do it, so kind of worked out. And then the last person, Grace, who you see, is actually my cousin, and she also kind of added into the diversity of, you know, just work and culture that I really wanted to shape the film.
It was beautiful. Do you ever think of making a longer film out of any part of that or all of it?
Thank you. Yes, I actually have. I have so much footage that I obviously didn't get to use because this is actually a film I created for a documentary film class I took. I go to Sarah Lawrence, I'm a rising junior there, so. But yes, I would love to do that.
Any others? Any others? Yes, go ahead.
For each of you, how did you come to make the filming? What brought you to it? And then also, what was your biggest barrier in making the film?
So in my freshman year of college, I became really interested in discussing the concept of beauty in our society. And like I said, pageantry, I was still really inspired by that when I made this film. Luckily, I was given the opportunity when I took a documentary filmmaking class with a mentor of mine, Damani Baker. It kind of opened this whole idea up, where I wasn't just interviewing people about beauty, but it kind of just shaped where I was just really interested in getting to know people and just their stories, and just documentary in general. That's what we're here for. Greatest barrier, honestly, editing, because there's just so much amazing material. People just have a lot of great things to say and just beautiful moments that you're just kind of watching and just seeing, and it's just, I just wanted to portray as much as I could in the shortest amount of time possible, which was definitely difficult.
For me, it was, I grew up on a horse farm, so it's my background, horses are my background. And then at some point moved into the city and studied film, and then I became a screenwriter, so that was kind of my job, writing and a bit of producing, but it was all drama. And then I read about this race, and I thought, I've got to do this. And I was just going to do it as a writer. And then you have to apply, and it takes a while, and it takes a while for them to accept you because they kind of test you for your skills and everything. And so then I realized it's like such a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I want to kind of film it, and then it grew from there. But it was very quick, so they accepted me in like February or something. The race is every August, and so in April I knew that I was actually going to film it. But I didn't know how big the film was going to be. I thought maybe it'll just be like a video diary or something. And then I went to Cannes, the film festival, and raised funding to actually film a property. And I got just enough funding to go once with a tiny crew. There's 4 of us, and so it was like a crew, and they were filming, and I was filming on my own on horseback, so I was riding the whole thing. And then so then we just got enough to actually just film it. And then coming back, we did the edit, like 2 months of editing, and then realized, so that's probably my greatest barrier. We realized that a lot of the stories just kind of didn't finish because people get lost, and it's just really impossible to keep track of everyone. And so kind of during the fall, winter, I thought, this is not a film. This is maybe half an hour if we're lucky. And so then the next year I heard about Mondi, who was going to ride it. I was really intrigued by that. So I got in touch with him, and he agreed to be filmed. And he'd never been out of the country. He was a really interesting character. And so, yeah, so I went again and filmed him and wrote the thing again. And that kind of became more of the backbone of the story. And then afterwards, I felt, okay, this is going to be a film. Yeah, so the barrier, the biggest barrier was kind of just filming it. And then once it was in the Cannes, it was easier to get more funding for Horst and everything, because then people saw what it was and then knew the potential of it. Yeah.
Do you have future distribution?
Yeah, it's yeah, worldwide. So we have a UK cinema release a couple of months ago, and then it's going to be released in Europe in a few countries. And the strange thing is, in the States, it's been amazing festival, so people love it. But it's really hard to get into cinemas because it's quite expensive. So there will be a cinema release in October, but it'll be quite like probably only 10 cities or something.
For a wall kind of thing?
Yeah. No, it's called, it's like a platform called TUG. So it's like cinema on demand, and in fact, anyone could go on TUG and say they want a screening, or organize a screening in Burlington or something, And if they get enough people together, then that's how it works.
Given the explosion of television, have you
Yeah.
looked at the HBO route, the Showtime route? Any interest there?
Yeah, Hulu.
Hulu, yeah,
Hulu
yeah.
taking it. And Netflix were going to take it, but then they had like a buy freeze just when we finished. And
That's because they bought up the world.
no, they did actually, and then they made some mistakes. And then
Big studio, big
stuff.
mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, slowly but surely.
Right here?
How did you decide to pick the Irish jockeys? I mean, how did you decide who to follow?
Yeah, it was basically I sat everyone down before the race. You know, like we had 2 days just in this camp where we kind of got to know, and filmed everyone, asked everyone the same question, like 10 questions about, you know, what they were hoping to achieve, blah blah. And you get a little bit of a sense of everyone. And so then, yeah, there's the first thing is to get a sense of who's interested and who isn't. But that doesn't mean that these people will actually gonna make it or not. And so I kind of had like a top 6 or top 7 that I'd like to follow as much as possible, but obviously you can't really follow all of them. And so we kind of had a quick brief the morning of when the race started and said, okay, you follow these 4 and I'll try and keep up with this group here. And then it just kind of fell together. But the 2 Irish guys, they're amazing. And it was a stroke of luck. Bruce was saying that Donnie, the main Irish guy, he's like a movie star.
He's a movie star.
Yeah, he's
That guy's
like,
Sean
like
Connery.
Yeah.
He's got a big future.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
My favorite question to ask documentarians is, what one thing did you leave out that broke your heart that you had to leave unedited?
Good question.
There was this shot, so Grace has 2 twin daughters, and there was this shot and a small story too where she was making them breakfast. And I didn't really get to show it, I didn't show any of the kids at all. And there's a shot where she takes her coffee and she just goes right to the door, so she's just looking out, and Grace just says, "It's beautiful, isn't it?" And so I just wish that I could have put that in there because it was a wonderful moment. It just happened so naturally. So yeah.
I found it really hard to answer actually. The first cut was 3 hours, and we cut it down to like 2 hours, but it had to come down to 1.5, 90 minutes. It had to be 90 minutes. So it got really tight, and some people get like a little bit lost with all the info at the beginning and stuff. So I think mainly it's we had like a few more kind of big landscape shots and more stuff of the kids, and but nothing really that made me. I mean, yeah, we had to cut a few stories of people that just didn't really go anywhere, and they were really nice people, and I liked them and stuff, but in the end they had to go. And that I felt sorry because they all become friends, and for me, I mean, I worked in this like for 4 years, so I felt these are all people that are really close to me, and they probably didn't think that. So, you know, like, because they were with me for 4 years, like on screen, everywhere. Anyway, so there were a few that I would like to have included still, but just had to go.
Go ahead.
Technical question. The overhead shot's done with a drone or a helicopter?
Drone. Yeah, we tried to get an action helicopter, but there's only like 2 in the country, and they're used for army and medical stuff. So, yeah.
Let's go ahead.
Who was filming the underwater shots when the girl went into
I did that as a joke with a kind of GoPro with a kind of waterproof housing with a stick, just for fun. Just, you know, you do all this stuff and see if you use that, and it kind of just worked.
Did you personally have a nice steady mount, or did you have to pick one off the line every time?
No, everybody picks, and I had to be a competitive rider because otherwise I wouldn't have been allowed to pick horses, because the rules are that only the competitors are allowed to obviously pick.
Wow.
And so, but I'm quite a good rider. I mean, that's actually probably, I feel more confident as a rider than as a filmmaker.
And what is your type of, you said you're from horses.
Yeah.
You're Like what type of?
They were very similar actually. It was like a ranch operation where I grew up, but we had like 15 horses, and they were fairly feral because we were like 5 kids, and we just broke, and we grew up with horses basically.
Where?
So this is in Holland, and so the black horse that is like that you see at some point that we call the black stone, he was crazy, and that was like a typical story because as a rider, if you don't conquer out on the first day or the second day, your confidence grows, and that was day 5 I think, and they said have this one. I said yeah sure. I was totally mad to even pick that horse. So I was lucky to, it bucked me off once, and then, but I was lucky to be okay actually.
Yes, go ahead.
I have a question about the competitors. I noticed they were all basically Westerners. Is that part of the course? Is it people who can afford to do the whole thing?
Yeah, there's always that, no, it's open to absolutely anyone. And especially to Mongolians, and they've had Mongolians in the past riding it, but for them it's a totally different thing because they obviously speak the language, and they're not as interested in the whole thing because for them it's more like a day-to-day thing. Almost anyone in Mongolia that I've ever met rides horses, apart from people that really grew up in the city, but they're not really into like crazy endurance like that. But it is a price tag on it, and I always found myself kind of wanting to defend all these rides because we've had reviews of the film where they say, oh, it's a bunch of privileged Westerners, and it couldn't be further from the truth. Yet, like some of them are like quite well off, but all of them, that's like their big dream to do that. And one, Charlotte, the English girl, she basically, with her fiance, they agreed not to have a wedding, or just to have a wedding in a little office, so they pooled all their wedding money together so she could go. Yeah, so there's a price tag, but they organize 1,500 horses into that corridor for 2 weeks, and all the families, there's like 30 Mongolian families with all their herds, and everyone gets paid, so they get like a fee for each horse that gets picked. So it's a huge operation, and for that, I think it's fair enough that they kind of have to pay quite a bit. Yeah.
If I could just follow that a little bit, because one of the things I picked up with the film was that while these are all the riders you focused on, well, obviously all competitors, but they all seem to be interested in something like being as experience in Mongolia, even down to spending a night with Mongolian family, so that the competition is tempered by a greater sense of the overall full experience. Is that something that's reality, or is that?
No, that's very much the case. Is, you know, like when you film it, you have some kind of structure by having it as a competition, but once you're not amongst the first 5 or something, you lose that sense of having to be there as quickly as possible, and it just becomes this amazing experience. And that's actually what most of the riders, they just experience the whole thing. And it's not really about winning. And actually, when you all pull into the finish camp, like, you know, after they take another 2 days until the last one comes in, they don't really care who won it. They just care about the fact that they've survived it.
Okay, everybody, we're like 35 minutes.
Thank you so much.
Screening session.